What's up, dude?
What's going on, buddy?
How are you, man?
Good. Excited.
Hey, before we get started, you see this?
Yeah.
Benjamin Blue. Can you guys see that?
do.
Super
We
cool
do.
water company, but here's what's cool about them.
Okay.
I ordered it offline, and I didn't click the little button for like billing address, same as mailing address or something like that, and it
Okay.
had an old address.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, no. So I emailed him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, man, it's already gone out. You know, would you be? And I was like, man, I'm not able to go to that old address, you know, to grab it. And he's like, yeah, man, no problem. We'll chalk it up. I'm getting you another.
Damn.
I'm getting another 2 boxes sent to you right now. No sweat. I was like, wow,
That's
super
awesome.
cool. So
Yeah.
shout out to Benjamin Blue. Great water, right? You chasing yours?
It is great water.
I'm just in it. It's probably tap water. I'm joking. It's like
No.
super clean,
Natural spring water.
natural spring water.
Only way to go.
It's great, and they're just great at customer service.
That's right.
I
That's
love
right.
that about them.
From our distributed out of Houston, but from the Black Bear Spring in Polk County, Arkansas.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
We just got that
I
deep
like it.
South water.
I like it.
The
Hopefully,
deep South water.
hopefully fluoride free and all the other bad stuff.
It looks like it.
I don't see any fluoride in it. So
It's a fun day,
Okay.
man. So we're doing a pod. It's
Super
Monday.
fun day.
Doing a
Yeah.
podcast today on Monday. I'm not sure if this will be uploaded by today. Probably not. We'll probably
Yeah,
post
probably
this
tomorrow.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
tomorrow, something like that. But good little topic. What do you think? What do you want to call it? What are we doing today?
Man, I don't know what we'll call it, but man, officially transferred over to LPT as
100%.
of today. You made the switch over to Aperture a couple weeks ago. I made the switch to LPT today. So
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of, talk about the differences between the two, how they're correlated.
Well, first, let's just let everybody know that like
Yeah.
they're the same.
Yep,
They're 2 different brokerages, but they're owned by the same entity.
that's right.
Aperture is your luxury brokerage, right? So a lot of folks are just familiar with like, you know, revenue share and how the revenue share cloud-based, you know, brokerage models work. This is specifically for luxury agents, right?
Mhm.
So certain volume you have to be doing, certain price points that you have to do just to hold the integrity of that luxury brand. But dude, they're doing amazing things when it comes to the target marketing that they're doing, the billboards, the different things that we've got as far as how we serve
Mm-hmm.
high ticket listings, et cetera, et cetera. And again, there's qualifications to be a part of it. We're super excited to be a part of it. You and I decided to go one on each side, right?
Yep.
Because I'm over here on the Aperture side, but they're sister companies, right? And they
Mhm.
all talk underground. They all revenue share. You know, it all talks to itself, right? And you join the LPT side, which is not that I'm more excited about LPT. I'm excited about both of them and luxury agents actually having an opportunity for revenue share now, which is
Yes.
amazing because they can actually start collaborating around the country, around the world. Dude, we're collaborating with guys in London the other day. It was awesome. They got a referral for us. It was awesome,
Yeah.
right? Like, but now you're compensated for helping folks at scale and with revenue share on the
Mhm.
luxury side. So I'm excited for that. But, you know, LPT is the original company before they decided to make this luxury brokerage.
Yes.
And it's been great. And people get stuck into schematics. Here's my bottom line, and I'll let you get into yours.
Mhm.
Great leadership puts their people in a position to win, right? And that's systems and processes and skill set and training and everything we can control. And we've been doing that for a long time. We were at eXp for a long time, 5 years, I think, right?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Yeah, right at like 5 years. And like, it's still our responsibility to, if we see a shift or if we see an opportunity, that's a better opportunity for agents in addition to what we can provide,
Yeah.
where they hang their license, right? Like, great. And then I see it more as a responsibility. You should be doing that
Mm-hmm.
versus, well, let me just wait this thing out, or, well, and then just rationalizing your own shit because, well, I'm good. I got a lot of agents over here and I'm good. And yeah, but before you know it, like it starts bleeding out from under you.
Yeah.
Because others aren't. So as far as like leadership, man, I'm excited for, you know, their mission statement, a brokerage for life, the different ways you can structure how you are paid, as in like, you know, whether you're participating in rev share, if you want more of a flat fee, luxury side, I'm sure you'll get into that. But the bottom line is, before we talk revenue share, before we talk anything, we're talking fucking leadership.
Yep.
And this is one conversation a lot of people might attempt to have that conversation on their own Instagram or in their own little silos, but you can't have that conversation with me. Now I was raised from people, leadership was a religion, dude.
Mhm.
They'd lay down their life for you and you for them. Like, this is a conversation that very few people in this planet can have. And the most guys that can have the conversation about leadership that rate that agree with me
Mm.
because I come from them in the first place, right?
Right.
So it's not that I'm a big deal. It's that where I come from is a big deal. and how I was bred through leadership is a big deal. And like, you just don't see a lot of that sometimes in business. You see leadership thrown out as like this romantic word to just attract people to whatever you're selling or whatever it may be. And I don't think people take it as serious as they should, right? But you can get stuck in the schematics all you want. You can try to talk dollar for dollar all you want. The bottom line is it doesn't start there. It's where it starts is what's best for the agents.
Right.
And everything else we're going to figure out from there, right? But like, it has to start with setting people up to win, giving people better opportunities, and you have to lead that. You have to start that change. You have to start that chapter from the front as a leader. You have to create that trend. You cannot wait for people to be unhappy or need different resources or want to do something different, and you took too long and now they don't trust your leadership. They've done something else on their own, and you're no longer that trustworthy authority. You're just not for that person anymore.
Right.
It's like when you see it, you got to really investigate it. You got to make some pivots, and yeah, man, it's been amazing so far.
Yeah.
And the more and more we've gotten involved, the more and more you just start figuring out the new things that they're doing, the different things you're doing, the like-minded people, the proximity to ownership, and like, they're just our tribe. But before anyone wants to have any conversation with me, you let me know what's best for agents, and we're gonna have that conversation before we ever talk money.
I love that, dude. Yeah, that was, man, and that's like my primary thing. You know, I think we both kind of have different reasons for, you know, why we were both open to change and things like that.
We're also both in production, man. Like, we do deals. Like, we're not just here reliant upon everyone else doing production and us just collecting rev share. We're not these non-producing, you know, big silo recruit. Like, no, like we love recruiting. We love training and educating and getting agents to do better, but we're also practitioners at heart, and we're still active. So we're not reliant upon it either, which means that we're able to make moves.
Yeah. Well, and we know what agents need because we know what we need, and we know what tools and resources are out there for people. And man, starting off, if we can kind of start with like Aperture for a bit, like when you first started talking to me about Aperture, one of the first things that was appealing to me was that it was this new thing. And it's really hard for anything to be new at this point, right?
Yep.
But there was this big gap in the market from luxury agents, and let's just say maybe the typical places that you might see luxury of, like Liv Sotheby's, Compass, where it's like, man, you've got these old, very like, you know, fixed model, traditional models. And then you have the EXPs and the Reals and the LPTs and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And there's this big gap and this disconnect.
Because it's not real luxury, right? Like EXP, no disrespect, Real, no disrespect, like, just from a lot of what you see from luxury agents, they don't want to leave Liv. They don't want to leave certain places because like that is luxury. But you also, anyone can go work there. So there's some own things you know, when it comes to that. But when it comes to like just a market, like for example, having like new technology, instead of marketing a zip code, like agents and different marketing companies try to do, and hey, let me just market this zip code, Cherry Hills. That's like a great area in Colorado, right? Cool. Imagine if you could target households, as in, imagine if there was technology where you could figure out what people, like what homeowners were doing on their phones, per se, right? And it's like, oh, look, they're showing signs of moving. HomeBot does research and things and different stuff like that. But imagine if they took that information and then they could live stream commercials into their television apps.
Yeah.
Netflix,
Hulu,
Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, Hulu. They start seeing your commercials on their television, on their phone, because of their behavior, and it's now targeting the consumer, not just some broad zip code and all of that stuff like that. Super Bowl commercials, you get billboards, digital billboards in other states, like for your listings and things like that. Just over-the-top support with everything they're trying to do. And, yeah, man, you get the revenue share opportunity that they've just never had the opportunity to have. So imagine being a great luxury agent, and you do want to lead, and you do want to coach, and you do want to help, but like it doesn't really help you to help people in your office because they're your competition. Imagine if you could just go help around the country. Yeah,
that's what was so interesting about it, because it filled this gap. There's a complete gap in the market of some of the most influential, super high-end luxury agents that, you know, do have really good followings, do have people that would love to come and just be associated with them.
Yeah.
You know, by nature, I think they're just, you know, some of the more influential people online, yet there was no place for them to be able to monetize any of that.
Here's what's cool
outside of them
too,
just doing transactions.
When you start talking to a lot of them, they do want to help.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They kind of can't.
There's no platform for it.
There's just not.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to scale. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And what's fun is like, it's still new, right? Like I'm pretty sure Thursday, Robert Palmer, our owner for LPT and for Aperture, I think they're going public, not publicly traded. I don't think, not that yet. That's coming as well, but they're just making the public announcement and just launching.
So this is all brand new. And then
I'm agent number 1 in Colorado.
He is, yeah. Will's literally
fucking
number 1 agent.
Nacho Libre. I know that doesn't mean number 1, but it just sounds cool.
100%.
I want to be Nacho Libre.
Yeah, and I'm like the little skinny sidekick. But the other thing too that I think
you like how I disagree with you.
Yeah,
for sure.
It works.
You be the nacho cheese, I guess.
There you go.
Nacho cheese.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the other thing too that I think is important for it is that, you know, Aperture, the name itself, I think is super cool. The logo, the branding, everything like that is really, really cool. And the other thing that, you know, they found, and I get with luxury agents is they want, like, believe it or not, a lot of them don't want to have to build their own, like, Mile High Property Brothers, right? They want to represent the brand. It's a brokerage focused brand, right? Like Live or Compass. So that's the whole play with Aperture is, you know, it's their logos, it's their names that they can grow and get behind. And
you want it because all the support you're going to get from it.
Bro, with hyper luxury.
With hyper luxury and the reputability you're going to have. Like, dude, they've already got $30 million, $45 million listings out of Miami and different places. And
the branding looks amazing.
It's amazing. But to support everything they're going to do, like, they literally make all of your marketing, right? Like those boxes I showed on my Instagram story the other day.
Incredible.
Yeah, and LPT does that as well, right? Like, obviously for the Aperture, it's just a little bit more layered as far as the different things that you get. A lot of it's digital for billboards and different stuff, but it's just, yeah, man, it's just real estate done right. Like, they're literally, when they say they're real estate first, they are. They're really trying to just support the agent and, like, hey, what can we do? How can we get out and get in front of them to allow agents to continue to do things that are the highest and best use of their time?
Yeah.
Everything else we can take care of to allow them to be proficient at out meeting clients, meeting new clients, helping clients, sitting down with clients, making sure things are going well with their home or their buy side, and just if everything else can be taken care of around them. Like, when's the last time you actually felt like you had a great team around you from your brokerage?
Yeah, dude.
You don't.
Yeah.
You do now. You do now.
Yeah.
Right? Having a brokerage for life, it's super cool.
One of the biggest, you know, gripes I've had with you know, other brokerages that we've been a part of, like literally every brokerage, you know, particularly eXp, like we talk about, like it being a platform, right? To where it's like, just like an iPhone, look at it like iPhone as a platform to, like, hey, you can send text messages and make phone calls on it just fine, right? Like, you can come over to eXp, do transactions just fine. But to really have some, to really have some cool,
or LA,
like to really make it cool and useful and have just really good things to help agents, we've had to come in, you and I, and build like an app on the iPhone, right?
We've had to build a lot of our own stuff. Now,
dude,
they do offer some things that are cool for your listings and things like that, but it costs you money.
What?
No, they do. Like,
what?
They've got. I know.
Literally, I don't know what.
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic. Yeah, man.
I mean, I am, but I literally
don't know what. You can jump into
the
world. Like, they do different courses. They've got like some listing marketing that you can put together and some things. But
they have like a design center,
and it costs you money.
Well,
it does.
You're $85 a month.
No, there's
but
other
you
stuff.
still have to go and like do it all. That's the problem.
Well, you got to do it all, and there is some that they offer, and it costs money.
You got to go and do it all.
Oh, and I was talking to some of our agents that were deciding to make the move, and they're just like, "Well, it's just too expensive. Like, we're already here, and then we cap, cool, but then like there's other stuff that isn't bad, but they just keep upselling us."
Yeah, and you have to fucking do it. Like, that's the shit that drives me crazy. Like, we all know, like with our listings, for example. Like, I know that I should go and door hanger the 25 nearest homes. I know that I should do all it.
Well, dude, we were making a lot of that for our agents.
Dude, like, we're good at it.
Yeah.
And I don't even do it half the time. You know, like I'm just not. Like, we're busy doing shit. But if it's there and
it's readily available, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's like what LPT does. So we'll talk about LPT a little bit.
Yeah, let's get into it. And like, first and foremost, just understand this. People, you know, agents specifically think that listings are easier than buyers. I think easier is the wrong word. I think I know they're more. Sure. I know they're more desirable. I get it. Like, hey, I don't have to drive buyers around because I have a listing, so I'm not driving somebody around, or I'm not. They're driving themselves, but I'm not going to all of these showings, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I got it. But listings, you know, they're still dynamic in their own right. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of things that have to get right. You can still mess it up. Like, it's not a walk in the park. Yes, you're driving around less because it's not a buyer. I got that. Outside of that, it's very dynamic, and you got to do a lot of things well all the time, especially if you're that first realtor on that listing.
Yep.
And it sits, they think it's you, And if you're not doing other things to make sure that you show them analytically what you're doing online to push it, because listen, sometimes homes just sit and it's a slower time in the market and whatever. Got it. But if that's the only thing you have to say, you can't show what you're doing with paid ad campaigns and looking at analytics for where people are moving from and then putting ads into different states to just try to attract. If you can't show your value, you're not going to last long. And then that second or third agent's going to come in and they didn't do anything different. It's finally been around long enough. Someone bought it, right? Like, but it's more dynamic than people think, right? So
completely.
When you
and
have
way
all
more
of your
competitive too.
Yeah. So when you have all of your marketing done for you, it's like you've got a team around you that's doing some things that help assist the entire process that you're trying to figure out, which is really impressive for your clients.
Yeah.
It's a huge support for yourself, and it allows you to actually go get more.
Yeah.
100%.
And you know, with listings, it's like, man, those are the people that are paying you tens of thousands of dollars. It is way more competitive, and they're, especially nowadays, man, like people want to see what you're going to be doing for them, you know? And if you can't physically show them tangibly, hey, this is what I do for my listings, and you've got another agent that, let's say, is at LPT, and they're coming in with all this shit that they say, hey, here's what we do, here's everything that we have, here's the mailing campaigns that we do, here's the door flyers that we do, here's sample flyers, here's this magazine that we're going to make for your luxury home, you know, here's the examples of billboards that we've put across Denver for your home.
You've also got a great support center. Instead of like trying to crawl around like, you know, like some virtual world, you make a phone call and that person handles it, or they direct you to the person that does handle it and they handle it.
Yeah.
And it's smooth. Like they've got a great support structure. And what I love about that, man, is every time I've talked about that, everyone I've talked to is like, yeah, that's all I do anyway is pick up a phone. Like the virtual world and things, it's like I feel like the idea of it is great. We never used it.
No.
Not only do we never use it,
people.
I haven't met someone that does.
Yeah.
Everyone ends up just making a call anyway, right? So just putting more time spent into the support center seems like a great idea. LPT has a 30,000 square foot training facility in Florida now.
Yeah.
So events, weekly meetings, training, you know, like going there and learning how to just do podcasts and different stuff. We're gonna be out there a lot just training agents on podcasting, on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. Like really cool to just have a home base where you can do stuff like that as well, which is awesome. But the big freedom with LPT is, yeah, man, you could do your 80-20 split, cap at 15,000 and participate in rev share and attract agents in addition to doing your deals, et cetera, et cetera. Or you can do like the flat fee thing. You can be $500 per transaction and it caps at 5,000.
Yeah.
And you don't participate in rev share. And a lot of agents like that. And that's where people give me kickback. They go, Will, if they do that, aren't you going to make less on them if they're doing that instead of this? I'm like, dude, I don't care. I care about giving agents great options for them. Yes. I care that agents get to define success for themselves. Right? Like when I was talking to Sam, our partner, and he runs our Florida division, right? Like him and I were just talking about it, and he's like, hey, man, isn't it cool that when you come to LPT, you can decide what success looks like for you and how you want to build your career versus you go to a company and they define it for you and you have to fit into that model, right? And you just have to be them. But now you've got your rev share LPT. If you like, you can do $500 flat fee caps. You don't participate, you still have LPT luxury. You can be a $500 flat fee person with LPT luxury and do as much as you like. And look, if your downline grows and it becomes big, or if you want to start getting into that and it grows and you want to go from $500 flat fee to participating rev share, you can.
Right.
You can go back and forth as much as you like. If you want to grow into Aperture and be a luxury agent, there's literally training and a roadmap for that as well. It's this huge ecosystem on, look, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, you no longer have to leave a brokerage to find a different opportunity. Yes. Until now, that's what you've had to do. Yep. eXp has its thing, Compass has its thing, Berkshire has its thing. Like, but now you've got everything that's just like it coincides into one ecosystem, and you can really structure and go back and forth how you see fit. So like whatever you want to do in your career, you don't have to keep changing brokerages. So I love their whole thing of just a brokerage for life.
Yeah, well, and you can change once a calendar year too. Yep. So let's say you do come over, you know, and everything is going fine, and then you come across another 2023 or 2024 year where it's like, man, I sure could use an extra 20%, you know, back in my pocket. Cool, flip back to the flat rate model, right? Like that whole aspect of it is really, really cool to me. And the other aspect that I like is it gives people, man, a path to like actually grow their business, right? So ideally, if you're running your business like a business, if you're starting off on that flat rate side, you're taking what that 20% you would be paying a brokerage, and you're putting that back into your business.
Yeah.
Right. You're able to set up funnels and have ad campaigns.
You're saving 11 grand off the top.
Pay an editor, for your YouTube channel. Yeah. And then as that business starts to grow because you're putting money into it, now probably by nature, you're getting people that are asking you, what brokerage you at? What are you doing? And then naturally you're going to start attracting people, and then you can transition into that. And the coolest part here too is that because the brokerage offers so many tools to their agents and shit that actually will help them do more business, I feel like the brokerage itself is enough to get someone to want to join. Versus eXp, people are like, kind of skeptical of eXp anyway. I've already talked to 5 eXp agents. So then it becomes this, what are you going to do for me? And when you have just the normal everyday agent.
And they have silos over there, man. So like, even if they are convinced of eXp, they're interviewing, and it's like, it's not a matter of like, okay, they're choosing eXp, like, well, who am I going to join? And based off what their offers, and like, we have a huge offer. Our online universities, our YouTube courses, our weekly training, we have a huge offer.
We do.
But when everything is predicated on just that, like you start learning real quick, hey man, we're the culture, we're the value.
Yes.
Which means wherever we decide to go, we're gonna win.
Yep.
Well, right. So like if we're gonna make a change, if we're gonna scale, if we're really gonna go on in for helping agents, let's just take a step back and look at like, hey, what's the best fit as a brokerage to plug our ecosystem into? And it's one that is a great benefit all on its own, and we're just a contribution to that.
Well, dude, look at these agents out there, that might just want to get their mortgage payment covered with revenue share, right? Maybe they don't want to go and grow 1,000 agents. They just want their mortgage payment covered.
Yep.
Well, at eXp, it's hard, especially if you're an agent like 2 or 3 lines down from us, and maybe there's a little disconnection or something like that, or you just might not personally know us or something, so maybe you're not reaching out. You're not necessarily going to go out and find those 10 agents that are going to want to join you, because it's like, again, 80-20 eXp.
But what if you're at the fastest growing brokerage ever
that does a ton of crap for agents that have really good models? It's an easy sell. People want to join anyway. That gives that normal agent.
But this is what I mean, man. Like when you're looking at the tide and when you're looking at things where people want to go, and there's just less friction. Yep. People can coin it like, oh, well, yeah, a bunch of non-producers over there. You guys are out of your minds when you start looking at the numbers as far as what they've grown, the 11 billion they've taken from other companies that are now at LPT. It's outrageous, but it's like people will say those things to rationalize why they're at where they're at, and they'll say anything to hold on to what they have. The bottom line is when it feels less salesy, when people get introduced to this model, they're like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it is awesome, right? It's like it feels no longer like a sale.
Yep.
It's just giving information to people to make sure people understand all of it, in addition to like also just what we're offering on top of that, right? But like it just flows a lot better, and that's where you start feeling like, man, this is just a better product because I don't have to sell it. It's more so just bringing awareness to it.
You know what it reminds me of is like the BlackBerry. Like there was this whole documentary on Netflix about the BlackBerry, and the big thing with BlackBerry is that you could like send an email on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember.
But it was like only straight up like business people that had it, and they were so like the Crackberry, right? Everyone was so like into that. But then that was like the first version that came out, and then when the iPhone came out, it was like the iPhone for everybody, that they wanted a little kid to be able to use it, Right. And it's like, yeah, you can still send emails on it just fine. But man, there is so much more shit that you can do on this. It's accessible to everybody. A literal little kid could use it.
Well, and dude, like you hear things, from other brokerages, other CEOs. Hey, we're not for everyone. Hey, this is where like, people have like this avatar or whatever. Like, we're not going to be for everyone. Like, it's kind of a condescending thing to say. Hey, we're not for. It's a cop out. If you ask me in business, it's like, unless we're doing product-based stuff like a supplement, and you're putting a ton of caffeine in it, clearly you're not for everyone. Yep. And then you're niche, and I get that. But like brokerages, I don't think it's the same. It doesn't have to be the same approach. And saying, we're not for everyone, it's a cop-out for just, I don't know if it's being one-dimensional, but it's like, hey, let's just pause real quick. Why not? Like, you're not for everyone. Oh, we're for this type of producer or this or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. But listen, why aren't you for everyone? Why not? Why not? Before we get latched onto romantic statements like, well, we're not for everyone, like I love I don't want to shit on it. It's like, no, I don't want to do it. I want to, because it's all love. But my point is, when you're a brokerage, that's an ever evolving live product. Why can't it be for everyone?
Yeah. Yep.
An iPhone is for everyone. Samsung's for everyone, right? Like now there's preferences, but
sure.
a limited structured real estate model is like a fucking tape player now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like as things evolve, like you're not just a fixed product, again, like a supplement. Some pre-workout with a ton of caffeine because I got it, but what company owns that pre-workout?
Right.
And then could that company be for everyone? Well, the answer is yes, because we used to make supplements.
Yep.
We sold them. We built stores. Kurt, right? I was number 2 in that company. A product might not be for everyone, but a supplement company could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like BSN, dude.
Look at First Form. Yeah, great example.
First Form's amazing. Andy and Sal, love those dudes. Like, yes, you can have extreme for hyper athletes and the craziest of the crazy CrossFitters, and then you can have stuff for everyone else that's just trying to stay healthy.
Yep.
Right? Like a fixed product might not be for everyone, but the company that makes these products can be.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. Is like most brokerages were just a pre-workout.
Yeah.
Hey, we're a company, yeah, but we just sell this one product.
Yeah.
Versus like now, like you describe as apps, I describe as products. Like, and the way you can structure your license, it's like, yeah, why aren't you? And I heard it recently from a CEO when he mentioned not being for everyone. And it's like, hey, cool. I can tell like off of like your speech right now on this podcast, you're so used to saying that. I've heard you say it several times. You're in this pattern of you go on podcasts and you're kind of telling the same story on podcasts, and you've just kind of like stamped this phrase into your brain of like saying that, and then somehow that's supposed to solicit a great answer. Like, yeah, man, we're not for everyone. We're the pros. And it's like, you're crazy, dude. You're crazy. Like, you can be for everyone. You should be for everyone. And if someone comes in here and they're new, why not have a road to success where they can be the top of the top and have a roadmap, have education for that?
Yeah.
It's silly to think otherwise.
Aperture is a great example of that, because the one part where they weren't for everyone was they were still missing that luxury brand. Yeah. You know, that luxury agents would actually want.
And
to put
you have to have certain level of volume, certain price point on your buys or your listing sides. But they have education and they've got a program to help you get there, though. Right. But that's not being for everyone. That's just a certain achievement that they want to have with integrity on an actual like a luxury brokerage. Yeah. Right. But they've got training through LPT, and it's awesome, man. Like, But my whole thing is just stop talking shit, stop rationalizing. Stop saying you do your research when I know you haven't. Like, dude, have a conversation with somebody for 5 minutes when you've met with the CEO of this company, the owner of this company, right? Investigate it for 8 months, keep your eye on it, and then have a conversation with someone that says they've done their research. Yeah, I've got 3 questions that just let me know you haven't. Yep. Cool. And now you're just showing how ignorant you are, and you're no different than the car sales guy. You go on to a Ford dealership, right? And you're like, yeah, hey, we're looking at some Fords, but we also kind of like Chevy. And, oh, hey, they got a ton of recalls. Oh, hey, like they're just bad talking in competition. It's like, hey, man, you say, oh, no, dude, I'm in car sales. It's just my fiduciary duty to like look at other brands. It's just not good. It's like, oh, yeah, like, well, which cars have the recall? Yep. And which car am I looking for? Yep. Do you know? Oh, you don't. So you're talking shit. Okay. Well, dude, now you start seeing like these, like you shouldn't bad talk. And if you're curious, right, like if you really do your research, then you'll know, even if it's not for you because you say so, not because the company says it, you say it, no problem. But it doesn't mean it couldn't be a great decision for someone else. And if you would just care more and ask more questions on why they're choosing to make a move and have more discovery there, you'd be a lot better off than just talking shit. Yeah, man.
It's man, I'm personally just super excited for the move. Anyone that we've talked to is uber excited for it. And can we go into the owner, Robert Palmer, a little bit, just like sort of his background?
Yeah, and he owns RP Funding, right? So he's
started off in lending, right?
Yeah,
like 20
he's still
years.
in it. Yeah, he owns RP Funding, right? Like,
here's what's interesting about him: like the Compass CEO, I like for the most part because he's like a tech guy. He comes from the tech background, right?
He says a lot of good things.
eXp, he comes from straight real estate background, right? Yep. What I feel like has hindered eXp a bit is they don't have that tech component side. Yeah. That sort of tech startup CEO sort of mentality that I think can bring a lot of benefit. What I like about Robert is he's literally the hybrid of both because he comes from the lending, and I like that he comes from the lending world because it's real estate he's worked with a ton of realtors, probably more so than someone just stuck in real estate.
Your lenders know more dirt and more complaints about where you're hanging your license as a realtor than your managing broker.
100% they do.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Agents are talking to their lenders significantly more than their managing broker, dude.
Well,
they know it all.
And he also comes from tech. So he's just straight up entrepreneur. LPT stands for Listing Power Tools, which was a company that he started with all of these like physical print and AI.
Well, he owns a print company.
Tech things.
So he was making all these things for his preferred agents that he does lending for. And at some point it grows and he's like, why am I not doing this as a brokerage? But just to back up a little bit, like you also can't turn a blind eye to the fact that he's a legitimate bona fide billionaire from RP funding. Like he knows what, and LPT is still privately funded right now by him. 100% skin in the game. Falling on your own sword, like what better guy to follow? And like when this does go public, imagine everybody that has pre-IPO stock.
Dude, and that's massive because like when it's self-funded like that, that's one of the issues that Compass ran into was, it's all funded from elsewhere, right? So you've got all these investors to answer to, all of these like board members to answer to.
Well, and it's no disrespect to their CEO or anything else, right? Like seems like a great guy. I don't know. Like, but the question would arise of like, have you ever built something on your own? Like, have you ever have you built something like Robert Palmer has? Like, do you really have like that business experience of growing something and it's your money on the line? Or are you always playing with house money? You come in, you say a bunch of romantic stuff that sounds cool on the surface, but doesn't necessarily pan out. And this happens a lot, dude. This happens a lot with like, like police work, and like let's use a cliche one just to keep it lighthearted. Like, you got like like an armed suspect, right? Like they're robbing a bank or whatever, and someone, couldn't you just shot him in the leg? Couldn't you just shot the gun out of his hand?
Yeah, I love that.
You know what I mean? And it's like, they just don't, it's like, oh, golly. And it gets, so it's like, there's certain things that can be said. It's like, in theory, it's like, wouldn't it be amazing if I could just pull my bow and arrow out and like shoot the arrow right through the little trigger guard of the pistol and just take it right out of his hand and pin it into the wall where no one can reach it?
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be fucking super sick, right? Like in theory, like you just wonder, like, especially with what's going on right now in the real estate market, it's like, are you saying a lot of things that are attractive or on the surface? Like, are you doing things that on the surface feel like cool, but is it pontification? Is it just theoretical? Like, I don't know. And I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not shunning him. I'm just saying, I don't know, man. But you're curious when like these guys start making announcements or picking sides and then Robert's not, because he can just identify this is not my fight.
Right.
And then you just wonder like certain poise and decisions from a guy that's built it and it's his money and he's built something that's huge. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, he's just got like that street experience, that combat experience per se, that like just, it's not the end all be all, but it does speak volume.
Yeah, it does. It does. And again, coming from somewhere that's, agent focused first because it's self-funded. And hey, if the agents aren't happy and successful, he's not successful, versus.
Well, and dude, I felt like, like not to cut you off, like over at eXp, like you got the alphas, right? Which is like 1,000 or more in your downline or whatever it may be. And like, they just started feeling like gatekeepers. It started to feel like those guys ran the show more than the CEO. Whether they think that, like whether the CEO thinks that or not, that's how it felt. That's how they behaved. Some of them behaved inappropriately to me. Doesn't need to be spoken on a podcast. It's been voiced. It wasn't okay. It wasn't appropriate. And there's just patterns there. And you're like, oh, you guys tried to lean into the attraction model so heavy that you grew these entitled, folks with large downlines that aren't in the game as far as real estate, that are just reliant upon this, that are millionaires or whatever it may be, and cool. But at some point, it like took a mind of its own on. And now they run the show, and they're these gatekeepers. And just, man, like no disrespect to anybody, but like it felt that, man. And it's like, it's like a hierarchy. But because they're in the model themselves, it's like it's a hierarchy with their own agenda,
right?
And then you're trying to like talk to corporate or whatever it may be, but then you got these guys that are the ones that decide or have the influence, but these guys are in charge, and you're like, well, are you sure? Are you sure you're in charge? Because this is what I feel down here, though. This is what it's like. Oh yeah, we're in charge, but these guys influence them. It's like, it's interesting. So like at where we're at now, like with LPT, it's like, are you gonna have people that make a lot of money off of rev share? Absolutely, and it's a great opportunity, but it's real estate first, and you're gonna have significantly less alphas per se, right?
Yep.
In that.
Yeah.
So I feel like anytime you have an owner that's real estate focused first, agent focused first, that's how we feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anytime like, oh, well, dude, aren't you going to make a little, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, stop. It's agents first, man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, and by the way, base hits add up. If you think you're going to make a little less per agent if they decide to do the flat rate instead of the rev share, cool. Base hits win World Series. I'll just tell you, anytime you had a team win the home run, like when the Yankees like hit the most home runs in the regular season, that's not the year they won the World Series. That's not the years they won 5 World Series, right? Like, no, man, it was like manufactured runs, base hits, doing things the right way, playing for the right reasons, picking each other up. And that's how I feel about agent first. If we're taking care of each other and we're putting agents in a place to win, we're also going to retain a lot more agents.
100%.
So I don't care if you make a little bit more on that, but then they don't want to stay because they don't have enough options for themselves.
Yep.
And then you don't have the retention that you want.
Yep.
Now what?
Yep.
Right? So like, man, like the longevity, sustainability, and just feeling excited and happy about what you're putting agents in front of, man.
Yeah.
100%. When you have an owner that feels the same way, good.
Yep.
Good.
And also worth noting, we're going to be revamping our Legit Agents YouTube channel.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's been I think frankly, like, Will and I, we've just been so, head down with our personal, agent coaching and things like that, and creating our systems and resources and all these things that we do still have and everything like that, that we haven't put a lot of focus on that channel because it's been so just direct agent. But now there's so much more to talk about being over here, that I'm super excited to see our content going on that channel.
And listen, like, everyone can still win, regardless of where you go or who you're with. Like, you can still win, but people have to start understanding, like, don't bad talk things. Don't use names like calling people mouthpieces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was directed at me, but I definitely spoke to that person about the same topic he was talking about. Maybe he was hearing it from a lot of different directions. But then, like, you just use, hey, a bunch of mouthpieces online or saying that eXp and this. It's like, hey, man, don't say that, and stop saying that non-producers are the people that go to LPT. You're significantly incorrect. And per cap, you have more big teams over here now. Like, and here's the other thing. You don't have to say that. Like, you don't have to be a certain way to win.
Mm-hmm.
You can just lean into your model, like bad talking things. It just never looks good. And yeah, lately I've been kind of sticking up for us, because like, whether like we've had 2 changes. We had Berkshire, then we went to eXp, and then from eXp now we've transferred to LPT. We never once did anything bad to a brokerage. We never once disrespected anybody. Anybody that's at eXp that wants to stay there, we're giving everything we've ever built that they could have because they're with us. They get to keep it. And if they build a downline over there, their downline can have it. Like, even though we've gone, like, could you be any nicer? Could you be any more supportive? Right. Yeah, so like, those are the things that we're really trying to do as far as like just being good dudes. So when you hear people speaking like just unbecoming, I think it's okay to have a little bit of like respectful, tasteful stand up for yourself. Yeah. Like, check that shit. Yeah, man. Every once, and I tend to stay away from it, but I think like right now, especially with where the market's at, what Zillow's doing, what the MLSs are doing, like what Compass is going to do. It's like right now, man, like I do feel like, hey, we can stick up for ourselves. We can stick up for agents. And like when there's a lot of distraction, a lot of unknown right now, they should know where they can go to actually get help, not just charlatans talking some shit or saying something to just convince them of something versus truly having a great model for them. So there's been a little bit of like a little spunk.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, and anytime you do hear that, it generally is coming from a place of fear, and you're trying to convince yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like anytime you see that guy where it's like he's, the whole like, oh, I see red when I fight, and black out. It's like, the most hyped up dude is usually he's trying to convince himself that he's ready to go.
Yeah. Or just that people just have something to say. It's like, you don't have to say anything. If you want to be where you're at, just be where you're at. It's all love. This doesn't have to be for you. We've got something for everybody here. Right. But that's still your decision. It doesn't have to be for you. Just lean in, stay where you're focused. But what you shouldn't do is just be talking, especially when you're not educated, right? Because then it's like, it's not a good look for you. And it also like puts a bad taste in people's mouth. And then it's like, well, cool. I'm going to speak my part.
And potentially, dude, it just makes you look at these other platforms. It just raises more curiosity and like spreads the word, even further.
Good.
Like, for sure.
Yeah. But listen, I'm excited for competition. I'm excited to grow. I'm excited for the creativity and the expansion we have with ownership and the leadership at LPT. And you've had a great time. We'll be with Valdez almost all week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're out with Valdez, just mapping out some great things that we want to do within the next 24 months of being here. And when's the last time you could just go to the CEO's house and just map it out? And he's like, yeah, by the way, I got 3 guest rooms. We're just going to go all day and all night, boys. Let's have a good time with it.
Yeah, that's killer.
When's the last time you get proximity like that?
Right.
And I like how they appreciate and they feel we complement everything that they're about. And they lean into us with that much energy, that much effort. Like it just, you appreciate that camaraderie, man. And like, that's what I come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, I'll say it again and I'll leave it at this. Like we can talk anything that you want. The one thing I really hold in regard and I reserve myself with is don't come over here and have your bullshit leadership conversation with me.
Yeah.
Because I know different, man.
Yeah, you're not the guy
like I've been in real situations where like your word is everything, and really like, dude, just training young police officers, training young Marines, knowing what knowing they're going to deploy, knowing where they're going. Like it's a responsibility to really do your best to put people in the best situation to win and help others win, and versus like you being able to rationalize or speak something a certain way to make it sound whatever. And it's like, hey man, this is not debate class. Okay, like I'm not here to debate you and whatever. And like I know a lot of your guys' agendas. And I just politely don't agree with them, okay? But don't sit here and try to make something sound like it's not the bee's knees when it is, but you've just got different agendas, so it benefits you to talk otherwise. Right. Cool, but just don't do that around me, because then we're going to have that fucking conversation about you just being dishonest about the research you've done and the blah, 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 and the blah, 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 blah. We're just going to have that conversation about just you as a fucking person, right? We're just going to start there.
Right.
So that's the one thing, man. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of the guys that led me. And I'm proud to feel like I do the same. Like, I know we're talking real estate and we're talking business. This isn't the Marine Corps. This isn't police work. I get it. But I'm proud that I come from something where leadership was that important. Because now, like, I get it, man. No one's dying, but your business could. Transactions could. Your future could. And, like, your business is, hey, your family's reliant on your business to be successful, to provide. So I get it. It's not life or death. But, man, there's still things at stake, and people are trusting you, right? Then you better be what you say you are. You better be in the model you think like you say you are, and you better be putting people in a position to win first. This is not you first, what I make first. This is agents first, right?
I love that.
And that's just, but I feel like we're congruent with where we're at now, and I'm excited, man.
Me too, man. Me too.
Right on.
It's a good little kickstart into
fucking Monday,
the new venture, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great Monday.
Absolutely.
Well, cool.
Kick that long cut.
That's
Let's
right.
Get the fuck
We
out
appreciate you guys. We'll see you
time.
next week. Redefine.
We're out of here.
On the tongue and some long cut. I'ma slip it on down and turn it up. Southbound and we're trailblazing, yeah, but and a posse dirty, filthy like a spit cut. Dropping bombs at the gate, bringing big guns. Raw records be the steak, we the A1. Speak up and we know where we came from. Welcome to the posse, let me hear you yell long.